Alright, so the basic tools we'll need for the job, okay, you'll need a brush set. This is a mechanics brush set from Finish Line. We have at the shop. It works great. You have everything you need in there to clean your bike. This is also a great tool. It's a chain cleaner. So yeah, it comes with its own lubricant here, the dry lube. That's pretty good for Mauritius. It's perfect actually. And this is the cleaning product that comes with. You basically fill that product into the chain cleaner and make the chain run through the chain cleaner, and that's job done. So this is a brake cleaner. We usually use this to also clean products like parts that are really covered with muck and grease. It gets through the grease very effectively and quickly. I've got two Allen keys. It happens that I have a 3mm at the front and a 2.5 at the back. It should be only 2.5. I've got a chain lube from Squirt. That's a brand we also import through the shop. This is a great lube for Mauritius and for all conditions in general. It's also biodegradable, so it's a product we like to push. Then I use a foam spray also from Squirt. This is already diluted and you can get this straight from the shop like this. And this is the refill. It's a more concentrate version of this. And the paper, very important. Always have clean rags or big roll of paper like this, like when you're touching brake pads and stuff like that, not to contaminate the brake pads. Make sure your hands are clean at all time, and this is great for this. Okay, bike tool mat, where I like to keep all my stuff that I'll take off the bike. It's clean and neat and I never lose my stuff. So first thing you want to do when you're cleaning your bike is take all the bits and pieces and accessories that you have on your bike. So for me, I have the saddle bag, so I just undo it. Then I have my water bottle. This is a bottle from Feedlock. We also received that at the shop. It's a great magnetic system. And then I have my hand pump. Okay, so I'll just remove that. So okay, I'm gonna put my bike on the bike stand now. You have two ways of doing it. You either you clip it on your frame like here on the top tube, or you can clip it on your seat post. And then I'll just put it here. So now that's secure. This is where the cutters come in handy. Okay, so this is a carbon handlebar, so you have to be really careful when you're slicing your cable ties off. Okay, cool. Okay guys, so now we've removed all the accessories from the bike. The first thing we want to do is to take the wheels off. Shift to the smallest cog here. Okay, so that little button, you stretch the derailleur all the way to the front and you push it in, and it will lock the derailleur in place. So I undo my quick release and I push the derailleur at the back, and that should come off really easily. For the front, I have a through axle. Most modern mountain bike will have a through axle now. And do that, you unthread. Okay, you remove it and it will slide right off. Now, coming to the brake pads. If like me you have these Allen keys where you have a square head here and a more rounded bit here. Okay, so if you're using a lot of torque, use this side of the tool. Make sure it's well seated in there and just undo. Okay, and you've done the torque bit, you can just reverse. So you remove the pads. You want to make sure your hands are clean for that job, and you want to make sure you always grab the outside of the brake pads. Okay guys, so now we've removed the wheels and the brake pads. We're going to work on the chain. Okay, so most chains will have what we call a quick release. And you break the quick release. Okay, like this. You want to be careful not to lose that. Pull the chain, remove it, put it in the bucket with some degreaser and just let it sit, and you can move it from time to time while you're cleaning the rest of the bike. We're not going to do that now. We're just going to use the chain cleaning tool I showed you earlier. So I'm just going to put the quick release back. Okay, so now I'm going to use one of these tools. It's also from Park Tool. You can find this on the internet. So that's just a quick release system. Okay, so you set it where your wheel goes in. You put your chain on that rail here, and that will just keep my chain on, so I can use my chain cleaning tool and I can roll the thing without damaging the rest of the frame or the derailleur itself. Now my bike is fairly clean, so I'm not going to go in with the soap first. I'm just going to go straight in with the Squirt bike cleaning products. I told you I always have the concentrate version with me. Okay, so I'm going to use some of my more seasoned tool from the workshop here. This is super handy to have around. Okay, it's just a normal soap bottle, or you can use any soda bottle, whatever. Just cut it in half so you have a real container to work from. I'll put some of that concentrate in, probably put that much. Okay, I don't need more because my bike is fairly clean. Okay, you can put some water on in that, but don't dilute it too much. Before I attack my bike, I always like to take care of the wheels first. That just gives the degreaser time to work its way through, because very often this is the dirtiest part of the bike, the cassette, and where all the stuff, the lubricant and stuff attracts dirt and it just stucks in there. So this is where that brush is very handy, because it has tougher filaments, so it really gets through. Okay, so you want to take your degreaser, okay, and really work it in there. Okay, so this will foam a little bit. It's totally normal. Okay, some degreasers don't. It's not a problem. You can really, it's like painting, and you don't want to work too much in there, because in there you have the bearings and stuff, and you don't want to put too much degreaser there. Okay, if it's fine, if I'm going to do a full service on the bike, I can really go in depth, because anyway I'm going to take the bearings off, pop off the seals of the bearings, clean them, and then put fresh grease in, so it doesn't matter in that case. But if I'm just doing a regular cleaning after a normal ride, or just even a bit more of a thorough cleaning, I just try not to go in there. So if I'm cleaning the cassette, I always try to put the wheel out like this, so the degreaser will drip off this way. Okay, it won't affect, it won't go into the bearings. Okay, so this brush is handy as well to go in there. Okay, so you'll see at the back of the cassette here on the hub, that's a great little tool to have around. So this is another tool we use at the workshop a lot as well. When bikes come in, they're usually really dirty and they have a lot of grass into the cassette. You can just really get in between the cogs and then just grab the piece that's bothering you and take it out. Or if it's really dirty and you have a lot of mud and little rocks, you can really go in like this with this tool. So that's the wheels and cassette and drivetrain part clean. Okay, so I'll let it drip there and let the degreaser work its way through the grease while I clean the rest of the bike. Okay, I usually start with the dirtiest part of the bike, and I only use the tools I use to clean the drivetrain. I only use it to clean the drivetrain parts. I don't use the same brush to clean the frame, because very often, even if you're using degreaser, even very powerful ones, the grease will stay on the brush, and when you apply it on the frame, the grease will come in, will stuck on the frame. So use different tools to clean the drivetrain and your rest of your bike. Take the same degreaser and just go through roughly. Do not forget the inside part. That's usually where all the dirt and the grit accumulates here, this side of the jockey wheels, and here and there. So just really pull the derailleur forward, extend it to the max, and really get in there with your brush. Okay, you can also take the occasion that the brake pads are not into the brake calipers. That usually also gets really dirty, so you can really work that into there. That will also allow you to pick up some oil leaks. If you have oil leaks in your calipers, you can't really see it if it's not clean, but when it's cleaned, you can really see clearly if there's a leak. Then you can really sort that out later. Dirt often accumulates here on the bottom of the teeth and inside here, so this brush is perfect for that as well. I'll just apply a generous amount here, and then I'll go in from the other side. You have to be careful when you're using degreaser on your bike. If you use degreaser that's too strong, or that's for different industries like cleaning motorbikes and cars, very often they can damage carbon fiber, and they're super aggressive on bicycle parts, because bicycle parts are very sensitive in general. When you're cleaning the bike and you're putting degreaser on, try not to go too crazy on the stanchions here, because it will drip down into the seals, and you don't want that. Okay, so I just put a little bit here. It looks like a lot, but it's just foaming and dripping off. So you want to spray the whole bike and then spray the suspension at last, and then I'll rinse that first so it doesn't stay there for too long. Okay guys, so now once you finish with the sponge, okay, you can if the bike is clean and you've used enough water with the sponge and there's no more soap on it, it's fine. You can just put everything back together now. I just like to go last round with some water, and you can see that I'm not using pressure at all here. I don't want to go and put pressure into the bearings in here and at the suspension and maybe the headset as well. So you can just use a normal hose pipe and just rinse it. Okay, look, the drivetrain is clean, there's no mud on it, so it's fine, good to go. I'm gonna clean my brake pads quickly before putting them back into the bike. Okay, so make sure your hands are clean. I'll take a piece of paper like this. Okay, so these were the pads for the back of the bike. It's a very good opportunity to check for pad wear. Okay, mine they still have a little bit of life left in them, but they're pretty, I think they're ready for replacement soon. So I just like to take them off that little spring here onto my rag. For my piece of paper, I just use some brake cleaner. Okay, and then just clean these. Okay, perfect. So I've cleaned my pads with the brake cleaner, and I just put them in there. Okay, I've seen a few people coming in the shop and telling me, bro, I don't understand, my brake don't work, they make a lot of noise. I've put WD-40 everywhere and it still doesn't work. Okay, I get the thinking behind, there's rust here, I put WD-40 and it will work again, it will clean. Even if you have rust on your disc rotors, the only part that's very important is this section here, where your pads are touching. Okay, and if you're using your bike regularly, you usually rarely get rust on this side. But if you do not put WD-40 on, because it's a lubricant and it will there is lubrication into the WD-40 and it will contaminate your pads and it will make a squealing noise and it won't work, obviously, because it's going to be a slippery surface. Okay, so you can wrap the chain around, push it back, and really put the chain on that smallest cog here. Okay, you can notice I'm not putting the chain here or here, just on the smallest cog. That's what the shifting is set onto. Okay, and that's going to be much easier in theory to put my wheel back together. Okay, so now I'll finish that job on the ground, but for now it's fine. So I picked up my through axle again for the front wheel, and before putting that back into the front wheel, I just want to clean it. Okay, it's a good opportunity to inspect, see if there's any crack, if it works properly. Okay, I'll use this thin grease on. You can also use the white lithium grease I've showed you in the spray. That works. Don't go too crazy on the grease here, just a little bit. So I've got the grease on. I just put a small dash and I rub it around with my finger like this, just make sure it's an even coat. And you can see there's very little grease here. Okay, you don't want to go mad, otherwise it's going to attract all sorts of mud and muck in there and you just clog up the inside here. You can put a little bit of grease there and there. And you put your front wheel back together. Okay, and that's done. And since this is a quick release, okay, it's not a through axle. Most modern bikes will have a through axle at the back now. You want to put the bike down because it's very difficult to set a quick release right when the wheel is not touching the ground. So I release my bike from the stand, put it on the ground. So you really put weight on the saddle. So I put my chest on, so I've got both hands free. Okay, I sit the bike straight and I release the quick release again, and I make sure the wheel is seated properly into the frame. I put pressure over my body and then I make sure I have the right tightness and I tighten the quick release. Do not go too crazy on the force here. You don't want it to be super tight, okay, but just tight enough. Okay, and you want to tighten it towards the back. If you tighten it towards the front, when you're riding, you hit a branch, it can release the quick release. This video I'll show you how to use this tool. Okay, I actually do it last when I wash my bike, but you can do it whenever before. That can be the first step of the cleaning process. It doesn't really matter. So you open it up. You usually have a little lever like this. Okay, you put your degreaser in there. Okay, there's usually a mark here for maximum limit. Okay, I'm right on it now, so it's fine. For this job, you want to make sure your chain line is level. So I'll just make sure it is. Okay, so it's pretty much level now. So I close that onto the chain. Okay, and then I pedal backwards. And you'll see here the rollers inside take the degreaser and work it through the chain. The little rollers actually get into the little links of the chain and really do a good job of cleaning and brushing the chain. It's not the perfect way to clean a chain, but it works really well, and if you do it on a regular basis, it will be fine. And then you just do a last rinse. So at the shop we have an air compressor, and we usually blow the whole bike so it dries quickly, and especially the chain. Okay, when you're applying the lubricant on it, you want it to be very clean and you want it to be dry. That chain lube, there's wax and a solvent that keeps it liquid. The solvent will help the wax to stay liquid and to really go into the little rollers of the chain. Okay, that's what you really want to lube. You can see the rollers here, they're moving. Okay, that's the very important part to be lubed. And then when you apply your lube, you want to shake it well. Okay, and you want to really apply it on the rollers. Okay, so I've done the bottom part here. Now I can go and do the top part. Okay, then I can just roll it backwards like this, and I'll just let the lube work its way through the rollers. Okay, you wipe out the excess and then you let it set for a little while. It's best to apply it maybe 2-3 hours before you go riding. In Mauritius usually it's pretty hot, so it will dry a little bit quicker, maybe 2 hours. If you really let it dry, what will happen is all the solvent will evaporate, only the wax will remain, and when you're gonna go and ride, it will attract a lot less dirt and stuff from the road, like little rocks and stuff, and it won't build up in your chain as much, and it won't wear your whole drivetrain as quickly. So this is the whole point of using this kind of lubricant, the wax base, because they stay dry and they're very clean when you ride. Cool. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope this was helpful to you, and please like and subscribe to our channel, and see you at the shop soon.